What's up, Dub Nation? This is Rich with Let's Go Warriors, and we're going to talk about the trade deadline, the trades that happened today and yesterday, especially as you can see in the description of this. We're going to, number one, set the intention of the live chat, kind of like a yoga session. Number two, or B, or A really, that's 0. A is recapping the Luka for AD trade and status of LeBron. B, go over the De'Aaron Fox, Zach LaVine trade for today. C, answer your comments and just go ahead and do any of the trade analysis that you guys want me to look at. And finally, we will introduce the trade idea, which pretty obvious by now in the title. That's the latest idea that we have for you, and certainly better than jumping off a cliff today on social media like I'm seeing all over the place. So again, I need to set the intention. So listen in on Muni Long, listen in on what she tells you about J.Cole. That's what we're doing tonight.
Energy is first. You can sit down with somebody for 2 minutes and just exchange a few words and know where that person is vibrationally. If they talk about other people, gossiping, hating, like, all right, this might not go that far. I remember one time I had a moment in the studio where J.Cole was there, and I was just having a bad day, and I started just talking trash. I was talking to my other friend, Teron, and Cole came in the room, and within 2 minutes, he heard what we was talking about, and he got up and left. And I just remember being like, damn. What we say? Why did he do that? Yeah. But then I realized we wasn't on the same frequency. He not on that. Complaining, that kind of conversation does not circulate in higher level rooms. He didn't judge me. He didn't say nothing bad. He sat there, he listened for like a minute, and then he got up and left. Because what happens is when you're high vibrational, most likely, those people are going to bring you down. You're not going to be able to bring them up.
So that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing tonight, is we're going to keep it high vibrational. And it's funny, Bruce hit me up on that app, and he's happy that Jimmy Butler said no to an extension. We won't give attention to people that don't want to be on the stream anyway. Appreciate you. Let's see. Wow. Okay. Jimmy Butler did not want the Warriors. Steph needs to, yeah. That we don't have the wrong channel. Some of you are on the wrong channel. So there's that. Muni Long. I think that's what we're going to do here today, is we're going to set the intention right, because you can go and complain and throw Joe Lacob and Mike Dunleavy under the bus on any number of apps. We're not here to do that. It is what it is. We're going to kind of look at the news that broke earlier. And I also want to look at any news right now. Someone said something about Jimmy Butler, Dallas. I don't know. Better refresh here. Let me see. I don't see anything right off the bat. It would have been retweeted a million times. So I don't see it here. And one last check. Yeah, got a lot of people on that app is just really going nuts and saying mean things. It's kind of sad. But let me scroll down here if I can. on all the news that's happened lately. What's that? Oh, okay. Oh, Draymond is listed as probable tomorrow. That's great. But yeah, I'm just using our own Discord server to catch up on everything. Where were you when you heard Luka got traded to the Lakers? Ouch, man. I was out of town, not too far away, but I was just doing life and heard about it, and then I happened to have a moment where I could take a break, and then I called my buddy Mark, who used to play in my basketball league that I ran, and he's coached a million teams, and he's a Laker fan, and we talked about it, and he's always looking out for the Warriors, and I'm always looking out for the Lakers in terms of just having that rational discussion. And the thing is that even he was saying, oh, maybe LeBron would want to check you guys out now because Luka plays the same position. They just traded his buddy and all of that stuff. However, then it turned out that Chris Haynes came out and said that LeBron wants to stay past the trade deadline. So that was the end of that idea. And I have a little LeBron section. So if we just go right here. So everybody, after the trade was done, everybody was like, okay, what does LeBron want to do? And then Chris Haynes goes, LeBron James intends to remain a member of the Lakers. But then Eric G, our guy Eric G of NBADraft.net, he's like, you know what will look, you know who we should target now is Austin Reaves. So I wanted to look at that one real quick, just real quick, and then we'll come back to it. But yeah, just thinking they need a center, and you could send them, whatever you need. But I think Austin Reaves is the closest approximation to prime Klay, and the entire system was built on Steph and Klay running around. And I think they should target Austin Reaves. That would, like, with Zach LaVine gone, so you don't have like this massive talent, offensive talent. You don't have another offensive talent, Jimmy Butler. He's off the board. And so who else is out there that could actually make an impact in our system that's gettable? Now, you might be thinking, oh, the Lakers would never part with Austin Reaves. Well, I mean, they've got Dalton Connect in the wings. Luka's going to slow the game down anyways. And they need centers. We have some serviceable centers. And you could just overpay, just kind of overpay for Austin Reaves. And it might be worth it for the Warriors because he's only $13 million. This is going to be really nice on any team, let alone the Warriors. And the other thing is not only is this like at a huge discount, but the impact Austin Reaves would have on the Warriors system is like a greater impact than he would have in the traditional pick and roll system that, 28 other teams or 27 other teams love to employ. So I think the Warriors should target Austin Reaves and probably overpay for him. And it's such a small contract that there's many different options. And of course, you'd have to throw in like a first rounder of some sort. So that's the idea. I guess I kind of skipped it, and I guess we can recap all the news later. So that'll be step A, is to introduce that. So like everybody else that I'm seeing on social media is just like, oh, this, it's just so low vibrational. And it's like, I got to keep tabs because I got to know what's going on out there. But instead of just complaining all the time, just like move on and look for the next best thing, which, hey, maybe they should have been looking at this in the first place. But really, the Lakers now, I mean, they have a few needs. So the Warriors could step in and just kind of like supply their needs and then some. Whereas most teams are going to want to trade with the Lakers, from sort of a fair basis, right? So the addition of Luka kind of, forces the iceberg to melt a little bit, the iceberg to fall into the ocean a little bit and get some things melting, get some things going, get the wheels turning on all of this movement in the NBA. Whereas had Nico Harrison not been dead set on Anthony Davis as a replacement for Luka, which he definitely thought Luka was going to leave anyways. So that whole transaction kind of shook it up. And you would think that the Lakers, their roster was like pretty much set unless they went out and did some other, ancillary trade not involving LeBron or Anthony Davis. But my friend Mark, devout Laker fan, grew up in the Bay, but he was born in Guam, and everybody at that naval base was rooting for the Lakers, all the Filipinos that were stationed out there. And so he loves it because now they're set. They're set for the next 10 years. They got a generational talent they can build around, and they have somebody after LeBron. And Mark literally told me that he's relieved. It's like, I'm so relieved. Now I don't even need to worry about a championship this year because of the window of LeBron. So throw the window of LeBron out the window. Throw the window out the window. So they can breathe a sigh of relief that they're set. LA is set for the next 10 years plus. And so that might provide an opportunity. Maybe they'd part with Austin Reaves if presented with a sweet enough deal. So I guess I'll take a moment to look at the comments. I really hope you guys are staying high vibrational because I'm ready to time out some people if I need to. Bruce Morrow, who loved the fact that Jimmy Butler did not want to come to the Warriors due to not wanting to sign an extension here. And oh, cool, Bruce. I'm glad you were hoping. Brings a smile to my face. What else is going on? Pinky in the house. All the regulars. Shivansh. Where everybody knows your name. I love it. Robbie was waiting too, huh? Melly Mel's in the house. Jonas Valanciunas. The problem is he can't shoot. So that's the problem. JV can't shoot, and it's a Kerr-Steph system. So I don't know what you do about that. I'd certainly want to go after Reaves before Jonas. And if you're going to go and get a guy that's, how much is he making? 10 million. Why not go out and get the guy that's 13 million? It's close enough, So that's my thought on Jonas. We've touched on this on many live streams in the past. Next one. Seems like market is fixing itself. Yeah, that's why I thought actually LeBron coming to the Warriors would be quite interesting. Now, that would only happen in the offseason now that Chris Haynes has made his report on LeBron wanting to stay a Laker at least through February 6th, which will take him out to the end of the season. Wouldn't that be interesting? It's like the Lakers have always been able to attract like a marquee name. You know, you go from man, where did I see the list? It was like freaking Kareem to Magic to Kobe to like, you know, added Pau Gasol to I mean, it took a while to finally get LeBron, but now LeBron to Luka, like they've nearly always been able to pass the torch to the next MVP candidate. And that's, I agree with you. Like the market fixed itself in terms of like the Lakers again being able to attract like a huge megastar like that. I hope the Blue Wrenches are helping me out in the comments because I don't know that I'll be able to catch up. So the other thing that might make the market balance itself is LeBron doing the crazy thing, which is and we would have to hope that the Lakers kind of have chemistry problems or something, and the whole Luka LeBron thing just doesn't work out. So the next storybook ending for LeBron's legacy would be to team up with Steph, isn't it? Like, so everything would work out. And in Dallas, obviously, Nico wanted Anthony Davis. The thought there was that, well, I'm going to get a top 10 offense, defense, two-way player, and we want to focus on defense wins championships. But they're not saying something. There's definitely something really, really deep inside that organization with Luka that's going on. It could be that he hasn't been healthy all that much. It could be that his conditioning, there could be some other type of, egotistical infighting / resentment. You never know. So, so the target was Anthony Davis. And if you think about it like that, like Luka was definitely going to leave, like Nico said today in the press conference before they played the Cavs, with Jason Kidd sitting next to him, that it would have been a tumultuous summer. And we can go into that later, but there's got to be something going on there. And I talked to an NBA agent today, and that's basically what he told me. So I'm just relaying that information. Now I want to go live on Instagram because I thought we were going to go to the LeBron / well, really it's an Austin Reaves idea. And then in the offseason, go after LeBron. I would think, I mean, like, who else is there to target? I guess you could try to target marketing again. But there's a nice ring to, I don't know. I know a lot of people had issues 365 days ago with those rumors about LeBron, with Lacob checking in. But now, 365 days later, maybe you want to revisit that. So how are you, Dub Nation, feeling about the idea of LeBron to the Warriors this offseason? Yes, let's do it. No. Or I don't know, maybe abstain. Yeah, let's just throw that poll up there. So to AimAssist's comment here, I look at the market fixing itself as LeBron with a storybook career-ending team up with Steph. Like, wouldn't that be a really cool, narrative? I mean, Adam Silver would be giddy with that. He'd want that to happen. But let's see. Rational trade talk. High vibes. Link in IG stories. Copy that. And then go live on Instagram. So let's get some more people on here. Here we go. Okay. Hey, Instagram, we're live. We've been live on YouTube. We're doing trade talk, and I'm floating the idea of LeBron in the summer, but it depends on. He's already said no in terms of being traded by February 6th, according to Chris Haynes, and so he'll be a Laker most likely past the deadline. So the idea is, then we as Warriors fans have to kind of hope the Lakers don't do too well this season with the pair up of Luka and LeBron, such that LeBron would want to go to another team, and so then Draymond would put on the ultimate recruiting pitch. So would Steph, and you try to get that team up, which is kind of like a storybook ending to LeBron's career, teaming up with Steph. This is kind of like the Olympic gold medal run type of thing. So in that's the idea. But the more realistic idea is to try and target Austin Reaves. I know people are going to go, oh, they'd never do that. Well, I mean, like the only time the Warriors have done a deal with the Lakers was Terry Teagle back in the day, and so they don't normally do deals together. I know this is low percentage and all of that, but you could just overpay for Austin Reaves. And like I said earlier, just in case people forgot, to me, Austin Reaves is like the closest approximation you can get to a young Klay out there. And this year we're seeing the Warriors, they're still running this offense. Granted, JK's out, right? Obviously, Jonathan Kuminga provides pretty much a diametric opposite of Steph. He's the guy, you give the ball, you do an inverted screen, and he gets to the nail. And we saw him the last 2 games before he got injured. He was getting to the nail and dishing out. Even early in the season, he would get to the nail, try to go all the way to the rim. They'd adjust to that. So now he's adding some dimensions to that. And that's a really contrasting 1-2 punch with Steph, which is great. But the one part of the 1-2 punch still is Steph running around. Now you add Austin Reaves to that. Now you got the 2 guys running around. And I realize, Buddy Hield still has gravity, missing a whole bunch of shots, but like he's just not as good a player as Austin Reaves. He's just not. He's just like every little facet of basketball, he's limited in that respect. So Austin Reaves adding Austin Reaves to the Kerr-Steph system is the closest you can get to young Klay. And the 1-2 punch is indeed right now Steph, then JK when healthy. And you can see it on TV when they run their plays. But AR restores the true Kerr-Steph legacy system. So that's the idea there. So overpay for him. And you can't, the beauty of overpaying him is that his salary slot is only 13 million. So you can overpay, but you get some flexibility with that salary table, with that cap sheet. And so I kind of like the idea. It's not even my idea. It's Eric G of NBADraft.net floated that to me. Anyways, so yeah, in case you missed it, Jimmy Butler just a couple hours ago reported by Brian Windhorst. He said that Jimmy does not want to seek an extension with the Warriors. So that deal is dead. And I thought, well, that's too bad because I was thinking once Zach LaVine was off the table, because like an hour before that, there was the De'Aaron Fox, Zach LaVine deal. And so yesterday I was thinking that I wasn't even thinking Austin Reaves just yet. I was thinking LeBron, but more bigger picture, like this offseason maybe. And that's a guy I think you'd want to go after. Like I'd also want to go after Lauri Markkanen, but then equally so LeBron, because I just think that their 1-2 punch in the gold medal run was kind of indicative of the power of those two, all-time players. And we keep Draymond, we keep JK, and Wiggins is in the deal. And so when Zach LaVine, when it went down to like, so when it was still Zach LaVine or Jimmy Butler, and we did a poll on the YouTube, everybody picked Zach LaVine, or most people did. My guy Dean Chambers has wanted Jimmy Butler for a month, and he has good reasons. The reasons are that he's a tough player. Let's forget about the toxicity off the court for a second. On paper, tough player. He brings grit, 5-time all defense. So Dean has been wanting Jimmy from the get-go, because then you're changing the team. He's not necessarily the best fit and needs the ball in his hands, but you're giving Steph and Draymond and whoever's left over, you're trading Wiggins out. You're keeping JK, and you're giving that roster a chance to run a sprint to game 82 rather than a marathon. It can be done, even with kind of like older players. But anyways, when it was between Zach and Jimmy, I was leaning towards Zach, just because you'd have a $43 million salary slot. That's a lot easier to deal with than the Jimmy Butler extension situation, because the Jimmy Butler extension situation, kind of scares you, right? Is he going to opt in? We don't even know if he's going to opt in. You don't want to lose him for nothing. You just traded Wiggins out and then some for Jimmy, and then he walks. You wouldn't want that. And then out here, it's like, okay, well, then we gotta pay him, and we got to just figure this whole thing out. And it's complicated. Not to mention that he's complicated. So not only was the contract situation complicated, him mentally is complicated. So then I was leaning towards Zach. I was like, okay, let's just go and get a big salary slot so that we can do something with it later. Because if anything, Nico Harrison showed us that big salaries can be moved if you really want to move them. And you're probably getting okay value back. And, we could always trade him out for pieces, So I started leaning towards, let's just go and play at the bigger poker chip table. Ironically, the Warriors had the community poker fundraiser last night. Speaking of poker, but yeah, you're trying to get the more bigger chips you have here. If you're savvy enough, you don't ever want to overpay, but you always want to keep these fair salaries. But if Luka can get traded to the Lakers just like that, then that's my thinking is, and I brought this up maybe 4 live streams ago when I talked about it with Dean. It was like, should we just go and get a big contract and just kind of like, can we wheel and deal? Maybe we'll be the wheeling and dealing type team. Now that there's second apron stuff, just wheel and deal. Just do what you can. I mean, you got to really be savvy with your draft picks and your young players down here at the end of the roster, but maybe that's what you got to do. And maybe this season has proven that. So in other words, like having a $43 or $46 million contract maybe isn't that bad of a thing, because maybe you can just pivot on that. And I know Mike Dunleavy's like, but trades are hard and stuff like that. Yeah, well, maybe it's the sign of the times. The NBA is becoming a faster game, faster pace. Everything's faster. So player movement becomes faster. And I think this season, what it's showing me is like, you should go ahead and try and get more talent, even in like a faster paced environment. Just try to get more talent, because the problem right now without Kuminga and Draymond, like I said, and people got mad at me during the live stream, I'm like, our roster just isn't talented. So that's why we can overachieve to beat OKC just based on the style that they play. If they're going to have Shea, pounding the ball all night, our guys can overachieve to kind of adjust to that. Then you play Phoenix when they have 2 guys, and then Grayson Allen steps up off the bench. So does Tyus Jones. And guys are stepping up for Phoenix, and you got to put your primary attention on actually Beal stepped up off the bench. And you got to put your primary attention on KD. You kind of hold him down, but then there's Booker, and it's like, first of all, our defense isn't, it's limited, right? But aside from that, if your defense is going to be limited anyways, and what I mean by that is Zach LaVine really going to move the needle on defense? Probably not. And we don't have Draymond anyways to anchor the defense. You lose Wiggins in the deal for LaVine. Well, at least you still got offense. You can just, let Zach cook, and maybe you can match those buckets, because that's what Phoenix is doing. And then you sort of morph your offense to get the ball to Zach in the right places. In fact, I said in the last game that we should steal one of Coach Bud's plays, the little flare screen that they went to Booker. Imagine Zach LaVine doing that. Now, our team without Zach LaVine, this team, we don't have the athleticism to handle that. I mean, maybe you could get Wiggs to do that, but like, Wiggs goes into the paint and suddenly he's the skinny guy, right? So you look at Wiggs's consistency, and look, we're getting the consistency of a $26 million player. It just is what it is. And like, let's look at his last 5 games, right? Bad game, good game. bad game, good game, bad game. That's what you get from guys that's just not in the top tier, the top 20 players in the league. He's probably not even top 30 in the league, right? So our roster lacks talent right now without Draymond and Jonathan. And so maybe the idea should be shifted to just hoard talent. It's kind of getting back to the big three idea. But the difference is you always have Steph, and Steph is a totally different offensive type of player. So that was my idea, is like, that's why I was leaning more towards Zach, and go ahead and get the bigger salary guys, because on the whole, Zach's offense is more talented than Wiggins' offense. And we'll just have to figure that out, rather than figuring out the Steph, Draymond, and complementary player 1 through 9, right? Forget that. Make it Steph and get another big poker chip in there and kind of shift that up and evolve into that. Okay, so then Zach's off the table. So is Jimmy Butler. So, I mean, when Zach was off the table, I'm like, okay, well, then we got to go get Jimmy Butler, because what else are we going to do? So Jimmy Butler's off the table, and now we're back to kind of square one. What can we do? And so the idea is, okay, let's stick with the Steph Curry Draymond model with 9 complementary players. And let's make one of those complementary players the most complementary player that you can find right now, other than, say, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who is locked in, ironically, against Orlando. We play them tomorrow. Just go get Austin Reaves, and he has a very favorable contract. So that's the idea now. But no, I'm definitely with people in terms of like just going to get a talent. So I just talked about for 10 minutes on bigger contracts and changing the paradigm of Steph, Dray, and 9 complementary players. Actually, there's J.K. too. So don't forget J.K. homegrown, obviously number 7 pick. I think we've done a lot with them. It is a 1-2 punch, Steph and J.K., which is why I don't mind J.K. coming off the bench. I think it's actually better that way. Okay. So I went back to, after Luka got traded, I was back to like thinking, yeah, we should just acquire bigger contracts. So you're basically turning, say, before the Jimmy news came out, you're turning Andrew Wiggins and I don't know, Gary Payton and Kyle Anderson into Zach LaVine or into Jimmy Butler. Great. Because now you're trading that bigger contract, that there's more flexibility there, and maybe you can trade it for another bigger contract. Now, JK is going to get paid as well. So then that brings up, second apron issues. You can't aggregate and all of that. So it's not that easy, but I think it was worth exploring, kind of going that paradigm, and just figure it out later. Dean Chambers has been saying that for the last month plus, where you acquire Jimmy Butler right now. It's a sprint to the finish line, game 82, and then you figure it out later. It's just like you just dedicate everything to this small window. So it's changing that paradigm. Of course, Steph went on record to say that he never really shot that down, but he did shoot down the idea to fling assets. He literally said, flinging assets. We shouldn't be flinging assets just to get to a situation where we have like a Jimmy Butler or a Zach LaVine type. But all of that is irrelevant now that those guys are kind of off the table. I mean, I guess Zion is still a name that's been talked about out there, but yeah, I'd consider it. Again, same paradigm. So it's funny because like a month ago, I said, well, today I probably want Jimmy Butler. I agreed with Dean Chambers on that day. We probably lost the game that day, and then the Zion idea came out from the media. And like it was like, okay, yeah, let's do something. And then JK started playing great. And then I'm like, okay, maybe not. Let's hold off on it. So none of that really matters until February 5th. And I say February 5th because Schroeder is can't be traded until February 5th. So we can't even utilize this. And I think that's why we didn't get in on the Zach LaVine deal, because we were trying to land Zach and Vucevic, and to do that, you got to involve Schroeder's contract, and if you're going to go and do all these things, you might as well go out and get Zach and Vooch. I just think that's a noble cause to go out and try and get both. But to get both, you're going to have to wait until Schroeder's available. And if Chicago and San Antonio are going to be involved with Sacramento, and I mean, it looks like Chicago kind of didn't get a whole lot in return. So for Zach, so what are you going to do? I mean, you can't really compete with that. Like the only way we can compete with that is like we want to, if we're going to spend all these, assets, if we're going to fling some assets, we better get Vooch and Zach back. So I'm not mad about that. Like, actually, I'm never mad about anything. So it's a wonderful way to live once you figure out how to do it. But yeah, so I think we were targeting both Vooch and Zach, but required Schroeder's contract. So we were targeting them to utilize some picks, right? So we're flinging assets. All right. So it's not over yet. I mean, it's only February 2nd. So that's the other thing. Okay, let's slowly get back into the comments game. Oh, thanks, Bruce. Wow, that means a lot to me. I know this comment was at, what time was that at? 8:29. Oh, I'm 40 minutes behind. 40 minutes behind on the comments. Hope the blue wrenches are holding up the fort there. I don't know what anybody's saying, but also it's, I don't really care. I'll get there. If people are going off on a hate rampage, we'll just delete the comment. No big deal. Go get Giannis. Well, I mean, you can't just go get Giannis, or whoever, if there's no rationale as to them being available. So I gave you the rationale as to how Austin Reaves might be available right now. And I gave you the rationale as to how LeBron might be available in the off season. It is still, a lot of dominoes need to fall, but it's something to think about and get your mind off of, oh, we're not good enough and all of this and that. And like, stop thinking negative thoughts, That's what I'm here for. Believe it or not, it has nothing to do with the Warriors. It has everything to do with what I believe in, what I think can help you in your life, and basically just having joy for the Warriors. Wow, Dwight, no. Dwight can't even run up and down the court. Oh, that's silly. Cholo in the house. I mean, saying that, that Luka trade put a lot of pressure on Mike Dunleavy. I mean, is that what you wanted? Like, does that scratch your itch? Like, I just try to approach life in a different way, and I hope that my style rubs off on one of you out there. Like, we're having this need to have some entity feel more pressure to like make it seem like you have control over the situation, to make it seem like you're scratching this itch that's like a fear that the Warriors are going to suck forever because of whatever it may be. Like, I'm trying to get you off that track of thinking. I mean, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's 15 years of being in credentialed at games where I keep hearing guys on the podium or in the locker room saying, yeah, I don't need pressure. Like, reporters will always ask, and it's always new reporters coming in, so they don't know. So it's always their first time hearing it. I've been there the whole time, so I've heard it a million times. But what they say when asked, do you feel pressure? It's like, dude, I already put enough pressure on myself that any other external pressure is meaningless. And so, no, there's no extra pressure. Like, I already put pressure on myself. I have my own standards. And believe me, those standards are higher than you as the peanut gallery fan. Like, your peanut gallery fan pressure is nothing compared to the pressure that I put on myself. And that's something you can learn from in your daily life. Like, don't worry about what other people say. Like, just worry about your goals. And are your goals, being kind to yourself, number one? Are your goals structured in alignment with the fact that you know in your head that you're good enough? So as long as you know you're doing stuff that's good enough, then you're fine. Then you're immune to all this external pressure. You're immune to Bob over there in the cubicle over there stabbing you in the back, so to speak. I've said that many times on here. Like, I've made a lot of enemies along the way doing this Let's Go Warriors thing, because it's a competitive environment. The NBA is the modern day gladiator, and there's a lot of backstabbing that happens. However, I've grown to a point where that doesn't matter to me anymore. If someone wants to backstab me, you can't backstab me if I don't even consider it backstabbing. So, like, there's no external pressure needed. There's no need for control. There's no need for Mike Dunleavy to feel pressure. Like, oh, that'll make me feel better. Like, I can't even understand that. Like, so I hope you got something there. Robert Williams. So here's the thing, right? Here's the thing on all these bigs. How do they improve our offense? Like, what is Robert Williams going to do that Trace Jackson Davis can't do? Robert Williams isn't going to shoot a three-pointer. That's why Quinton Post is starting now, you know? Like, he adds a different dimension. We need dimensions. We need different dimensions, different points of attack, different ways to get Steph and J.K. You know, I'd rather have Quinton Post than Robert Williams. So why am I going out to get Robert Williams, right? You got to, I mean, go ahead and explain it. Spend a couple comments explaining it, and I'd be happy to read it. But like, you guys wanting a big man, like we're already one of the top rebounding teams in the league. And the reason why is because Steve has figured out the best way to rebound. It's the first 3 steps. It's not doing any stays. He's literally turned rebounding into a science. But if you are just dead set on firing Steve, or you want to blame Steve for everything, then whatever I say, you're not going to hear. But the truth is that he's made rebounding, especially offensive rebounding, a science. That's why you see Guy Santos so successful. Excuse me. Do you think Guy Santos figured that out all on his own? No, it's Guy's skill, talent, and athleticism and desire, but it's also the coaching staff. So you got to give credit where credit's due. We're fine on the rebounding. Yes, it'd be nice to have rim protection, but like Robert's going to have to play both ways. And so how long is it going to take for Robert to learn how to, you know, do offense with Steph? And by the way, Robert Williams, like, how are you going to play him with Draymond? So Robert Williams off the bench? So we're going to go and what is Robert Williams' salary? I'm going to go look on the back screen, which I switched off of. So I mean, these are all things you got to run through your head when you're thinking about a big man. 12.4 million. So why am I going out to get Robert Williams when I can go out and get Austin Reaves, who is the next closest thing to a young Klay? Like, that just doesn't make sense. But you guys always want big men. It just doesn't make sense. I hope you learned something there. I mean, everywhere else, that's why if you just hang out on Twitter or whatever app you're on and all you do is complain that the Warriors don't have a big man because all you see is like we're shorter guys than they are, then you're stuck. And then you keep complaining about that. And you're not in a capacity to learn why we haven't gotten a guy that, you know, is like a bigger Looney. So I don't know what it's like. If we're going to go out and get Robert Williams, let's go out and get, you know, Austin Reaves, same salary. But you're new here, and we've constantly had to deal with the need a big man. We need a big man. Like, it's just like, you know, people don't realize that a lot of it is the whole ecosystem that Steve created for Steph and Klay. It's getting Steph and Klay, who are not the biggest guys in the NBA. Like, normally it's like Phoenix. Normally it's like you got a KD and we had the benefit of having KD, but normally it's like KD, Devin Booker. Those are like your 2 guys. And then maybe you have a third guy like Beal. But like ours is like Steph and Klay. Like, 6'3", 6'7", and not a pogo stick, right? So Klay, young Klay, it's arguable. I mean, like Devin Booker is a little bit more athletic than young Klay, right? So like Steve built a system to protect those two all-time shooters of all time. And the system is still here. Now, other than Steph setting inverted screens for like JK or whatnot. And part of that system is Draymond. So people wanting to trade Draymond, that makes no sense. No sense at all. you can't trade Draymond. It's a package deal with Steph. Like part of the reason Steph gets shots off and gets those daggers is Draymond. You need both. And that's the difficulty. That's why we've had problems with our roster management, with our salary cap table, is because we've got $100 million going to Steph, Draymond, and our two-way defender, our wing defender, Andrew Wiggins. So, anyways. So the Kerr system was built to protect Steph and Klay. It has. And Draymond has morphed into it. Now Draymond's a key piece. So like getting guys like Robert Williams and Jonas Valanciunas who cannot shoot is difficult. It's difficult to integrate with that. We got to apply pressure to Milwaukee. Again, the whole apply pressure thing, that's a myth. Like I don't understand that. Apply pressure. It's not a real thing. It's not even a NBA 2K thing. You can't even do that in NBA 2K. And that's the thing sometimes we tell people is like, it's not a human thing that you're suggesting here. It's something you do in NBA 2K. You can't even put pressure on anybody within NBA 2K. So that one just doesn't make sense at all. We need JK to be back to the Warriors. Yeah. It's a little needy of a comment, though, but yeah. Robbie thinks it's a win for Dallas. You might be right if Luka continues to miss all these games every year and comes back out of shape, etc. He's going to be costing $70 million a year. So okay, it's catching up slowly on comments. Oh, there you go, Melly Mel's. Yeah. That's probably the best advice because we can't control it anyways. We can't control all these trades and all that. And it's like, how complicated this stuff can get, like this and that. And, first round picks, second round picks, it's a lot. Finding out how salaries add up to get another guy, even adding up salaries just to get Jimmy Butler or Zach LaVine, that was complicated. So I think at some point you just got to go, can we just let them do their job? At the end of the day, we don't get paid enough to analyze all these trades. Oh boy. So who would we trade to the Lakers for Austin Reaves? Well, you got to match salaries, and then you got to throw draft pick, second round, first round type of thing. Maybe you got to throw in a Pajemski. Maybe. The arguments that Austin Reaves' defense isn't that great. Well, I mean, right now he'd be replacing Buddy Hield. So, like, what is the issue there? It's not Wiggins for Reaves. Wiggins' salary is way bigger. But you know, you're not getting Austin Reaves for the defense. We know that. But he's not bad. You know, he tries. So I haven't seen any, you know, really good comebacks as to why not to get Austin Reaves. Why not overpay to get Austin Reaves? Is there, do you want Zion? Maybe we look at Zion, but that, you know, that comes with a lot of asterisks. Is he healthy even? Is he, you know, there's a lot more friction involved with Zion than there is with Austin Reaves. Austin Reaves is plug and play, and I guarantee you we'll win a couple games. Like, pretty sure of that, you know? He's like, give him some credit. I honestly think he's better than Klay right now. You know? He can move around more. Okay. Yeah, our options are limited. So Vucevic, yeah, I would actually, we haven't talked about that. I would try to get him. Why? Because of the contract. It sounds silly just to get a guy for his contract, but I think that's what we need to do. Is if you get a chance to, again, the analogy is like poker chips. Like you got the $5 chip, $10 chip, $25 chip. Let's add another $25 chip guy to that. But yeah, I probably need Schroeder in the deal. So yeah, I'm for it now. So due to the Luka deal, pushing me over the line for acquiring bigger contracts, as long as the fit is serviceable, then do it, because we've already seen that the role player strategy, it's not even a strategy, we've got injuries that's forcing role players to step up into more visible rotation spots, and that's not working. So let's get more talent. Bigger contract equals more talent. And then figure out what to do with that contract during the off season. So I'm all for getting Vucevic, actually. Okay. So like try to, I know this, it's hard to fit in 200 characters, but try to like explain, like if I'm going to like catch up to your comments, like try to encapsulate the entire thing in your comment so that I can know what you're talking about. Otherwise, 40 minutes later, I'm like, what are you talking about? Actually, an hour later, I reach your comment and I don't know what you're talking about. You'd rather have Kessler than Dwight. Again, you have to explain to me why you want a big who does not shoot. I think Brandon Ingram, we've all Cam Johnson, we talked about that. What? Weren't you here when we talked about it? All right, I guess Cam Johnson, what we talking about? Oh, man. So we've already shot down Cam several times. Why? Because you have to trade Wiggs for Cam. Why would you? Is Cam that much of an uptick over Wiggs? I don't know that he is. He certainly doesn't put pressure on the rim the way Wiggs does, even though Wiggs has been, as I showed you on the back screen, very inconsistent. He can probably shoot the three better than Wiggs. I mean, the Nets are going to want a pick for that. It's not worth it. So I got to shoot that one down. Now, we might acquire Cam Johnson tomorrow. I could be wrong, but I just don't. I wouldn't spend Wiggs in a draft pick on Cam Johnson. You know the Nets want a first rounder. It's not going to be no second rounder for Cam Johnson. Okay, what else? This season wasn't about winning, but it was. Don't forget Melton. It would have worked with Melton. Like, he fit perfectly. So it was kind of about finances, but also savvy enough that it was working with Melton. And I don't want to get in arguments again about Melton. The last two games, again, every time it's the last two games. Jonathan Kuminga, last two games. And I know 2 games is not enough of a sample size, but Melton's last 2 games, boy, like it really seemed like that he was the steal of the offseason. I mean, even if you have a flash of being the steal of the offseason, I mean, that's worth something. So it cannot be entirely shot down that we hadn't, in a very savvy way, found the perfect complementary team for Steph, a la the 2022 model. So I'm going to call that savvy roster construction, because you dipped under the tax by letting go of Chris Paul, I think it was. You dipped under the tax, then you went and got Melton, then you're over the tax. Man, that was pretty savvy. That's a pretty savvy move. But we all know that timeline book, like, too bad he got injured. It happens. We're not the only ones. Pelicans, they got their own. They tore a Achilles tendon with DeJounte, so sucks. Okay. Somebody wants to go get Zion. I don't blame you, you know? It's a gamble. Certainly a gamble. think it's pretty doable, actually, but let's see. Pelicans will probably want something, but, you know, it's always going to come down to can he stay healthy. So, yeah, I mean, I go get that $40 million contract with 39. Again, I'm not going to go against what I just told you. Like, I think we need go acquire the bigger poker chips. The bigger poker chip theory. We'll figure it out, and then if it's really bad, then we'll fix it in the off season. I mean, we should be able to, like, look, we figure out chemistry and health. Then in off season, if it didn't work, then fix it. Then us getting Melton and the complementary pieces the way we did, should foster enough self-confidence that that we can fix our roster accordingly. I mean, we lost Klay and CP3. That was pretty good maneuvering, I gotta say. So that's just part of the job. So just acquire and then fix it later if necessary. Yeah, go get Zion. Why not? Why not? Well, if you spam us, then you're automatically timed out, sir. Okay, I'm slowly getting to your comments. You said that Warriors had serious talks. Well, at the time of that tweet, it was assumed that the other was Jimmy, but we can't be sure. And that's the same thing with Nurkic. So anybody, any big that cannot shoot doesn't move the needle for me. Nurkic and Draymond. Wow, you really wanted to get Nurkic. Hilarious. Yeah, thanks for hopping on, all the people that hopped on. Front office is getting hammered on social media. Exactly. Let's see. The Lakers are cooked. Well, they're going to make moves. So we'll see. They got to go find a serviceable starting center. We got a judgmental guy. Yeah, there was a report that I can't place where it was, where I got it. Should try to memorize these. But Luka at 270 pounds. Wow. That's heavy. Are you like a Mavs fan? Somebody's really mad at Nico Harrison. Like 99% of us on the live chat could care less. Why would we throw Nico under the bus? Like we don't even care. this desire to thumb type and bully people and be mean and throw people under the bus. I don't get that. Like, what's going on in the 9-to-5 life out there? You okay? I hope I can teach you a way to at least be aware of what's happening. If you're thumb typing and you're angry all the time, it's not Nico Harrison making you mad. It's not Luka going to the Lakers. It's not Joe Lacob having not pulled the trigger on a trade just yet. It's not Mike Dunleavy. It's not any of those. It's not even basketball. It's not NBA. There's something going on that's putting you in a stressful state. So if you can find out what that is, focus your attention on calming that situation down or walking away with it, or just figure out a way, because you're able to do it like on Christmas. You're able to do it on your birthday. You're able to do it whenever the Warriors win. You're able to do it on Super Bowl Sunday. So if you can conjure up that high vibrational energy based on your environment, the key is to not have to rely on your environment, which is all these things happening around you. So if you've already got it in your mind that, like Steph Curry, that you're going to have joy today, you're going to wake up and life is beautiful. We are fortunate to talk about these things, to have a Luka for Anthony Davis trade like blow our minds and give us such entertainment. You know, yesterday I was with a friend. She doesn't know anything about NBA. She's from France. I love her accent, by the way. It's fun talking to her. But like, wouldn't have the slightest clue what the heck we're talking about. Never heard of Luka Doncic. The only person she's ever heard of, there's two NBA players. One is LeBron, and the other one, Steph Curry. She does not know anybody else. Sometimes ignorance is bliss, because she is not going to get affected by Nico Harrison, not going to get affected by Mike Dunleavy, Joe Lacob, anybody. There's no reason to go to Twitter to look at everybody complaining. You know, life is not just the NBA, you know? So one good way to learn how to have the same joy that Steph has, start within, don't rely on your environment, and reprogram that brain to just make sure you have joy every day, that you remember. It's all about remembering the gratitude for this game that we have. And even that, you know, I during games, I'll complain about Adam Silver, but I leave it there. It's just part of the gladiator stuff. It's part of the competition. I'm thrown into a situation where it's win or lose, fight or flight, that kind of thing. You're stressed out about the team. You want to win. You want results. You don't care about process. You get mad at Adam Silver because the refs aren't calling the plays correctly and the rule book is confusing because it's Adam Silver doesn't know what he's doing. Yeah, just leave it on the floor, man. I can't spend a minute of my regular day placing my energy on Adam Silver. Like, who cares? I got other things I need to do in life that's more important than that. So that's one way you can remember that you actually love this game. I don't care if Adam Silver's is in charge of this game, or, you know, one GM out of 30 isn't providing results that seem like a winning result. Hey, we're still all revolved around this beautiful game of basketball, which Steph Curry is very good at. And he reminds us every day that he's going to go into that gym, shoot 300 shots, and they're all going to be joyful shots. Now, he's not going to make all of them. Sometimes he'll brick a few. I've been there. And it gets a little frustrating. Oh, I should be making those and things like that. So you get a little tiny departure here and there, but you're not letting it fester into the rest of your day. And one great way to do that is just remember, I want to have the same joy of basketball that Steph has. So just think about that, and think about what you can do when you wake up in the morning to think that, program it into your brain, make it a habit. That way you're not doing the opposite of that, which is making a habit out of complaining about the game. So yeah, all of this is actually really exciting. You know, Luka going, like, remember the where were you when Luka got traded? Like, I'll always remember that. I was in Santa Cruz. That's crazy. I was visiting a friend. And then I had to delay my drive home. I had to just sit in the parking lot, catching up on all the feeds, the timeline. All right, so I'm taking notes in the description if you ever want to look at what I'm typing. Amy in the house. Oh, Bruce Morrow. Sure, man. Are you still around? Oh, too late. And then I see this one from Pinky. Oops. All right. Actually, I should check and see if I got a text back from Dean or the other guy I wanted, or Eric. If they could somehow join us, that'd be cool. Wow. Luka has the made the LA sign. There's Luka. He's in LA now. He has arrived. Even my Laker friend agrees that Austin Reaves is a good target. Just go all in, get him. And the fact that his contract is so small, I think makes it kind of worth it, because then you're still maintaining flexibility, and you're getting a guy that probably is worth to you. Isn't Austin Reaves, like, if my assumption, it's not even an assumption, if my opinion that Austin Reaves is an approximation of young Klay, then isn't he worth whatever we were going to pay Klay, which was over 20 million? We were going to pay him 25 million. Isn't he worth to us more than 20 million? And yet his contract is just 13 million. So go ahead and overpay, AKA go all in. Because that would still leave flexibility in your salary cap table. And that's something that getting Zion, it's not as complicated. Like, getting Zion then you got to like, okay, how are we going to match the salary? Then we got to give up Wiggins. That sucks. I really do think if we just replaced Austin Reaves, I said that backwards. If we just replaced Buddy Hield with Austin Reaves, I feel like we win a few games that we lost recently. Don't you think? Let's look them up. But let's do the horrible thing, which is the plug-in stats. That would be horrible, but let's just do it for fun. Let's get another tab here, bkref.com, Austin Reaves, Buddy Hield, last 5 games. We are 3-2 in the last 5 games. That's not too bad. 3 points, 10 points. Okay, which ones did we lose? The Lakers, 10 points, 2 for 8. And Phoenix, 13 points, 3 for 5. He was actually pretty good against Phoenix. What was Austin Reaves? Man, consistently over 16 points. 1 for 4, 4 for 7, 6 for 10. He's just way more skilled. Look at the assists. Oh, look at these assists. He is such a fit next to Steph, in my opinion. Yep, way more than Buddy. And they're both starting games. So it's the assists that I really like. And I wasn't even thinking that until I saw it right now. Whoops. Yeah, he's a playmaker. I mean, he's getting these assists off pick and roll rather than just running around with Steph. Well, anyways, that's the idea. You know, I wanted to give you guys some hope instead of, you know, other channels will come on and make fun of the team. It's all about making fun of the team. Oh, we're the worst front office in the league. Oh, this and that. And it's just like, how about we talk about something that's inspiring? Let's dream a little bit. The problem is you can't dream if you're caught up all stressed out about stuff. If that stuff actually affects you, how can you step outside and dream? How can you? It's impossible. All right, win now move for Anthony Davis. Yeah, I mean that's a formidable front line there with Anthony Davis. And they've got Quentin Grimes and they've got Max Christie. Max Christie did a really good job on Steph. Very sorry I was not paying attention to an hour ago the comments. I'm so slow at it, but yeah. Thanks, Shivansh. Call Portland. Who's on Portland? Jeremy Grant? Yeah. Has you shocked. I know it was shocking, but it was a good shock. So yeah, I see in the comments a Laker fan says, "Why would we give him to you?" And I just said, I've been saying 3 times now that we would overpay for him. But then secondly, you said that, oh, his point of attack is an issue. It's like, great. The more issues he has in your system, the more that likely that it is that you would part with him if we overpaid for him. But I get it. I get it. We're back to the gladiator forum of NBA talk. It's like at the end of the day, it's competition and you feel competitive and you want to argue with me and all that. It's just like, I get it. So the whole thing about me saying young Klay, yeah, young Klay's defense, he could guard Damian Lillard, but we don't really have to worry about that anymore in this day and age of the fast-paced offense, at least to win regular season games, which is the primary problem right now. So I meant that on offense, obviously. We got another hater on here. The idea that you would thumb type something to make me feel bad about myself, it doesn't work on me. It may work elsewhere on people, but it doesn't affect me. I'll be here with the next inspirational idea for Warriors fans tomorrow. I'll be here for the game tomorrow. And every time you say anything, I'll just delete you. And I'll just continue to live rent-free in your mind. That's fine by me. But you can't possibly make me feel bad about myself. It's not possible. Tonight, I'm going to try and do I'm going to try and finish. Well, I think I need to do the Jonathan Kuminga scouting report video. So I want to do that. I also don't want to do too many lives because I actually think that the algorithm screws with you when you do too many lives. So when I do the Kuminga one, it probably won't be a live. But I want to do that. And then I'm like 80% done with the Quentin Post one, 80% done with the Guy Santos one. The problem is we got into all these trade talks suddenly and for obvious reasons. And like, those are still on the back burner. But like, dude who tried to make me feel bad about myself, I'm still going to do those videos. Like, it's Here, I'm gonna just leave you with the one
Energy is
last
first.
thing.
You can sit down with.
I'll send you this link. Maybe it'll change your life. Maybe it won't. But I wish you the best, man. And technically, congratulations. You got Luka, and you're still on here trying to be mean to people. But okay. I did blue wrenches. You gotta take care of this guy. Nikki knows what's up. Kimbo's always battling paladin. You're a paladin in hell. Yeah, we don't really know what's going to happen, huh? So if they don't do anything, then they don't do anything. We'll get JK back. I mean, I'd be really concerned if we didn't have JK coming back and this was our roster. Like Draymond coming back wouldn't have been enough, you know? All right. So yeah, if JK was playing right now and we were getting these results and it was only Draymond coming back, I might think that that's not enough, but I don't know. Who cares? That's a what if. All right. Well, we got somebody that agrees with me, but also has to be in the off season because Chris Haynes already said LeBron wants to stay. Four or more. Actually, I should check my DMs and see if people have gotten back to me on if they can hop on or not. Nope. Vucevic. Yeah, I said I just wanted to get his contract. Good $20 million contract we can flip in the off season. Oh man, I mean, at some point you gotta let go of those, I think. So Lewis doesn't want Braun to have as many rings as Steph. I think we gotta let go of that. We just want to win a ring. We don't care how much they have. Oh, interesting. We did get a Laker fan. Braun is untouchable for the Lakers. No, it's not. Man, this was an hour ago and I missed it. Sorry, Bruce. Can we still get marketing? Yeah, good question. That's kind of up to Danny Ainge. I hope so. Pinky says run with the roster. Apollo wants LeBron. Okay. Cool. I think it's a nice little storybook ending, man, to the both of their careers. I got to at least screenshot one who like just agrees with me. Is that Terry Cruz's brother? Not just kidding. Oh, Markkanen, John Collins, Clark. Oh, well, by the way, we can't get Lowry until the offseason. What else we got? Getting John Collins, period. Well, can he shoot? Let me see. John, actually, let's do this one. John Collins. Boop. Oh, there's hope. 46%. Wow. Yeah. Shoots a decent amount. Let's look at his career. Totals. 232 threes last year, which was 3.4. Okay. All right. So the fit looks like it has potential. Now let's look at the salary. Utah. They're going to want to pick, though. That's the problem. Ooh, that's an expensive contract, man. That's the problem. I don't think it's worth it. If you're going to go out and get a $27 million guy, why don't you just spend all that energy on somebody that fits better and that has a friendlier contract? Because to get that, then you're sending out Wiggins. Yep, waited for an hour. Wow, we had 158. That's pretty cool. Someone says Kings surpassed the Warriors and got assets. Well, I mean, let's get J.K. back, and then maybe we'll pass them. You never know. Just got to win 4 or 5 in a row. What's the standings, anyways? Update. Standings. We're tied. Get J.K. back, win 4 in a row. We'll be above the Kings. Yeah, Kings got better, remains to be seen. RJ in the house. C11. Who the heck is that? Yeah, I don't know who that is. Oh, Cam Johnson. Terry didn't want Jimmy Butler anyways. Yeah, it's been said that the picks that Sacramento got weren't that great. Like the one they got, that's Charlotte's, probably not going to convey. LaMelo Ball. Ready to talk about Valanciunas. Let's look at LaMelo Ball. Okay, fine. Charlotte. 38 million. Can he shoot? LaMelo Ball. 33%. Not that good. What happened to BK Ref, man? Doesn't respond to my cursor anymore. There we go. Wow, he hit 9 threes in a game. Let's see. Similar scores. Oh, gosh. Let's go all the way back up. 33%. Ooh, it's been going down. Oh, man. Six, 7, 180. $38 million. Why? I would rather get Zion. Anyways, catching up on comments here. Schroeder would fit with the Lakers. I don't think they want to go that route anymore. They had him one time already, but what do I know? It's not really based on anything, and I don't really know their team that well. Let's go get Ant. No, Minnesota's not giving up on Ant. Oh, I see what you're doing there. Yep, there's definitely oldness getting there, but you know, LeBron is definitely still playing great. And we get to keep JK, maybe. I haven't looked at it. Haven't added it up. Yeah, I wouldn't want to get rid of JK. But anyways. Also, who else is out there? So you know, the one problem with Austin Reaves, though, is that does he move the needle enough to make you spend a first rounder, even if it's protected? You still want to have 2 picks available to like go after, say, Markkanen, right? So that's part of it too. You still want 2 first rounders to go after like a Markkanen. So the pick you spend to get AR has to still have that ability. So I wonder what it would take to get Washington's pick back. Let's look at Washington. So anyways, to the pick that you spend to get Austin Reaves, you'd still need to be able to do the 26. You could still do the 26 and the 28, 2026 and 2028. So next question is, at least for myself, is what would it take to reacquire the Washington 2030 pick? Who's on here that they'd want to get off of? Maybe they want us to take Jonas. Maybe they want us to take Corey Kispert because he hasn't been playing like he's worth that much. When did he sign his extension? This is not going to say I got to go to spot track. Spot track. Search for player. Who am I searching for again? Jonas Valanciunas? No. Corey Kispert. I'm going on a tangent here. Okay. Oh, let's see. Corey Kispert signed a Antonio 4-year, $16 million contract. 4 years, $16 million contract. There's a poison pill restriction. Oh, right. That's because this thing jumps up. All right, so here's an idea. Somehow we get Corey Kispert off your hands. Moody. Okay. So let me end that poll because we're done with it. Just hypothetically, would you trade? Because Moody's way better than Kispert, right? Moody for Kispert. No, we got to trade him more than that. Let's just trade out the 2031 pick. We can't trade the 2031 pick, can we? 6 years. 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 9, 30. You only get 6 years. Huh? How far out of the draft picks? Yeah. Oh, damn. Then we wouldn't get anyone in the draft. Oh, this is a tough one. Man, trading the 2030 pick out to get Chris Paul. Ooh, that was not the right move. Not the right move. And 2030, get the 2030 back. Send out 2031. And what else? A couple second rounders? No, I don't know. No idea. So I'm unable to answer that. How can we get the Washington pick back? That'd be nice. Wow. So people are okay with LeBron in the offseason? All right. It wasn't that way 365 days ago. Here's another Sith Absolute. Brandon Ingram. Let's take a look. Let's see. If I'm going to do that for Ingram, then I'd rather go get Zion. So that's the problem. That's the problem with Brandon Ingram, is that if you're going to do that, then go get Zion. Make almost the same here. And then the other thing is you trade. So you trade Wiggs for BI. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't think. Like, does BI have the defense? That's the problem with that one. I know there has been some desperation so far. So that's the one thing, is like you can call it that the Warriors, you know, the front office is getting thrown under the bus by certain Twitter fingers, but like, you know, at least we're not desperate. John Collins for a small move. He's not a small move. Yeah, I know the whole Steph should ask for a trade. What? Yeah, let's get more likes. Please splash the like button. Oh man, how many likes do we have? Is it bad? 56. All right, fine. That's good. I guess better than 30. To land injury prone players. That is tough to, yeah. We need a center badly? No. Just woke up. Dean just woke up. Wow. Thanks, Kimbo. Yeah, we got buy me a coffee. That'd be nice. The only person who's bought me a coffee so far was Dean and Pinky, and that's it. Let's see. If we could get him for cheap. What does it mean? Get Vooch for cheap. What does that mean? For all the people that want to trade Draymond, just what are you watching? Did you forget? Has he been gone that long? Like, that doesn't make sense. So trading Draymond doesn't make sense at all because him working with Steph, pick and roll, crunch time, that's like freaking beautiful basketball. Like, you don't see that anywhere else. Like, are you kidding me? Like, man, that's not a good look for you. I don't get that thinking. I don't get it at all. So if you want us to go younger, you can't just like make a blanket statement like who is out there to go younger. And we have JK who's young. So like, I mean, what does that mean? You can't just say that and just drop it like that, you know? Like you can't just like drop the mic like that. That's not fair. You gotta explain that a little bit. You gotta like, explain yourself. What do you mean go younger? Who are you trading? That means Steph or Draymond or Wiggins. That doesn't make any sense, man. Can you think about it before you thumb type that? At least you're not thumb typing crazy. But just the reasoning that out with you, it just doesn't make sense. You're saying we need to go younger, and it's like, wait a minute. So Kyle Anderson, Looney, Gary, those guys are coming off the books anyways. Not Kyle. So what does that mean? And how do you get a young player? Who are the young players? Because, Chicago's not going to give us Ayo Dosunmu on a silver platter. There's got to be a reason for them to give us the younger player. You got to expound, man. This is Let's Go Warriors. You have to expound. You can't just go. Just drop a hot take. Doesn't happen here. Still trying to understand the rationale. Okay, let me tell it to you. It's on the Discord, Nikki. I know you and Arbel are addicted to Instagram, but rationale of AD to Dallas. Nico is in bed with AD. End of story? A lot of it's that. Luka must have Nico thinking that he's leaving anyways. Luka is 270 pounds. Conditioning is an issue. All of the above. But none of this happens without Nico being buddy-buddy with Anthony Davis. So that's why. You guys all forgot about the Nico Harrison, Anthony Davis relationship. That is the number one reason. Yeah, it's all Nico. All right, Dubs Johnson, take care. Did I catch up? Nope, I'm still an hour behind on comments. Wow. What's the latest news? Actually, I have no idea. Been on this live stream for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Robert Williams can win jump balls. We need a shot blocker. Oh, you're so needy. It's not the owner. Oh gosh, you guys. The owner is not standing in the way of Nico Harrison. So he just wants to win championships. And Nico's like, I have a better way to win a championship. Here's how. My buddy AD. It's not that hard. It's actually pretty straightforward. You guys just thumb type nonsense. Gosh, some of you just want to complain. I hope someone got back to Dean. I'm so slow in these comments. Oh, there you go. Thanks, Aim. Well, they're getting paid all-time highs in contracts, though. Let's see. Why are you guys not timing out these people? Come on, blue wrenches. You guys aren't listening to what I say. Where are my blue wrenches? Get it. Maybe you are getting to them. StreamYard doesn't tell me if they're timed out or not. Lakers going to end up 150 free throws a game. I know, huh? Percy's in the house. I am still over an hour behind on comments, unbelievably. Smoke layups. Yeah. Yeah, I just have to trust the front office at some point. Just let it be. The need for control is sky high. A lot of hurt people out there needing to grab something and control it. You don't see you don't even see Steph Curry doing that. You don't see me doing that. It's just kind of like whatever happens, happens, man. Man, the comments are pretty low vibrational. Who was on the trade with Butler? You can just look at Dean's 3-team trade idea. We've done this many times. By the way, it says Schroeder here. Can't be traded till February 5th. Oh, man. So all in for, so wait. So if you're all in for Zion, then that means we cannot go all in for anyone in the summer. You cool with that? It's a valid, question. If you want to go all in for Zion. Actually, I guess you could trade Zion to Utah. So, guess though. What do you call that? You could pivot? No, you could. I don't know. I guess you could pivot the big contract to get another big contract. You saw something. Oh, gosh. When you guys go, oh, I saw something where it's just like, if there's one thing I could ask of you is maybe just like save the link somewhere. Like try to remember where you see these things, because what if it's NBA Centel? We know that's not reliable. If you tell me where you got it from, then I can tell you if that's something that's of substance or not. But if you just say, oh, I saw somewhere, that might as well be NBA Centel. What's the difference? So how can I help you on that, right? Miles Turner, why would Indiana get rid of Miles? I can understand Neesmith was a theory that he's part of another deal and we would be a third team, but Indiana's not going to get rid of Miles Turner. They're so close to being under the tax with Miles. All they got to do is send out TJ McConnell or Obi Toppin and they can have Miles next year. So why would they do that? And then if you say, oh, we can send out, some draft picks for Miles Turner, sure you want to do that? I mean, maybe that's the move, maybe, but Indiana's not going to be like, oh, here, you can have Miles Turner. Like they probably need him right now for this year. The way that they've got all those injuries, and they keep that and then just shed Miles Turner, shed Obi Toppin or something, and you're good. Fit him at $20 million right here. So I don't know how to get Miles Turner. And that's not just me saying that. That's Yossi Goslin, salary cap expert. So the Miles Turner idea has been shot down, not by me, salary cap expert Yossi Goslin. Go look him up. He's good. Yeah, and at the end of the day, we got to believe in our team. We're the only channel that actually believes in our own team. Every other Warriors page, Warriors channel, every other page aggregator doesn't really even believe in our own team. Think about that. Think about that. What are we doing here? We don't want to have fun with our team. We want to complain and make fun of them all day. Is that what you do in regular life? Is that how you get through the day? Is you gossip? You gossip about your coworkers, your family members. Is that what you do? Because it's reflected on social media. If you're going through all the trouble of thumb typing that, it must mean something. There's a lot of energy behind that. Cam Johnson isn't moving the needle. That's correct, especially the cost. Trading JK makes no sense right now. He's only making 7 million. He's probably worth at least 30 million. Parv saving the day. So any thought of trading Jonathan Kuminga makes no sense. And by the way, the receiving team wants picks, so not worth it. Parv in the house. Man, so that means I gotta, Let me put this here so I can mark it. Whoa, I am really behind on comments. But thanks, Parv. Wow. Honestly, first time I've heard of you, so maybe you've just been in the background and been around, but that's really appreciate that. All right. Still got to catch up on comments here. I'm determined to catch up on comments. Wow, I'm seeing Bruce Morrow commented not too long ago. 9:38. Wow, I'm so far behind. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, just letting the trade flow. This guy's doing the same thing. Man. Yeah. It's hard to not spend money to watch a Warriors game these days unless you just watch it on TV. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's good. Zion is only 36. All of this low vibrational energy is really tough. Like, I don't know. I think it's worth playing this one more time.
You can sit down with somebody for 2 minutes and just exchange a few words and know where that person is vibrationally. If they talk about other people, gossiping, hating, like, all right, this might not go that far. I remember one time I had a moment in the studio where J.Cole was there, and I was just having a bad day, and I started just talking trash. I was talking to my other friend, Teron, and Cole came in the room, and within 2 minutes, he heard what we was talking about, and he got up and left. And I just remember being like, damn. What we say? Why did he do that? Yeah. But then I realized we wasn't on the same frequency. He not on that, complaining. That kind of conversation does not circulate in higher level rooms. He didn't judge me. He didn't say nothing bad. He sat there, he listened for like a minute, and then he got up and left. Because what happens is when you're high vibrational, most likely, those people are going to bring you down. You're not going to be able to bring them up.
You guys are so low vibrational, some of you. Not the blue wrenches, obviously. Requirement: if you are new to this channel and you want to type something, you must introduce yourself first. Otherwise, leave. I don't want your low vibrations. Just leave. Wonder what I was talking about when it got so bad. Okay, where did I go? We need Kevin Durant. It doesn't solve anything by typing that. All it does is make the YouTube algorithm like this video better. Do you really want that? I think you're low vibrational enough actually not to want that. So why would you help me out if you're upset and you want to complain and you want to say something hyperbolic like, we need KD? Like, I don't get that. You want to be on Twitter. Go to Twitter for that. There's no reason to come here for that. May have made some front offices much braver to gamble. Yeah, maybe. It depends. There's another guy. Kimbo, the paladin in hell. This is what Bruce said. So, yeah, people are Kind of happy with that. Oh, I don't know where I'm going with these comments. I'm so far behind. Boy, you tripping. Celebrating does miracles. Yeah, this is a nice one. Steph, Wiggs, J.K., Draymond, post. Why not? Bruce will be here because Jimmy is not interested in us. So this whole Toronto's interested in Wiggs. Who said that? Man, the comments are so low vibrational. I'll slog through them anyways. Exactly. It wasn't even me coming up with the idea. I'm all over the place on these comes because I don't know where they started and where they ended. Dallas is more dangerous. They might be, especially if they're healthy, because Luka has been out, obviously. Bruce left us an hour ago. Oh, man, I'm really an hour behind. Oh, crap. Can we get Westbrook? That would depend on how the Nuggets are doing with Westbrook. You guys really want to look at Jordan Poole? Get Jordan Poole back. What happened here? Transactionally, 30 million. I mean, you guys know that All right, let's just skip ahead. And let's go reverse chronological. Jordan Poole is overpaid. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. Hey, someone agrees with me. That means I can forget about all those low vibrational comments from before, right? Yeah, I can. Nah, I'm not completely sold on Austin Reaves, okay? But I'll tell you what. His contract is so low. That in and of itself is a reason to go get him and maybe overpay for him. So there's the kind of that. All right, we're ending it. We're ending it on a good note. No, I'm just kidding. I'll just stay on. Jimmy Butler's gone because he's not interested in signing an extension, is what Dean is answering to you. Oh, I'm gonna catch up. Yeah, I know, right? Kimbo's my paladin in hell. I'm still looking for welcome, Rel. I'm still looking for Pinky's comment that I didn't see. Oh, that one. Yeah. To get Curry help. You know what's crazy, though? The crazy thing is, though, that a lot of this is because of the Kerr system that was designed to help and protect Steph. Isn't that ironic? You are not going to get that level of deep thought on any other channel. So why don't we go through this? Okay, so one, Katie joins Golden State thanks to salary cap going way up and Steph's ankle-prone low contract at the time. Part two, Katie leaves. We get D'Lo as a token of thanks. To be continued in the next comment. Hopefully I fit that in one. Yeah. Part three. We flip D'Lo for Wiggins, which later, after Dray resigns, after Dray and Wiggins resign, becomes $50 million. Meanwhile, Steph becomes highest paid player. Deservingly becomes highest paid player at $50 million. Ergo, $100 million to three guys. Are you following along so far? $100 million let's go to capsheets.com and find out some more numbers. For example, what's our total payroll and what is the first apron? The first apron is 178 million. So part 4, the first and second apron are instituted with heavy penalties, heavy transactional penalties. First apron equals 178 million. Therefore, we have to spread what? 11 spots over, or spread 78 million over 11 spots. Is any other channel doing this for you? $78 million over 11 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Of those, you got 2 million for Trace, and everybody else, well, you got Kuminga, Moody, Brandon, and then these 3 very cheap contracts. Step 5, JK, Mo, BP, Lindy, Trace, Gee are as low as you can get them, because those are either draft picks or acquisitions. Otherwise, in the case of Lindy Waters, an acquisition. So those 5 guys account for 13.4, 16.9, 18, 19, plus 2 million each. 23 million of the remaining 78 million. It's all mathematics. It's like E equals MC squared. You can only do so much. So basically, you have these slots left over. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slots. You have 5 slots ranging from, what's the maximum we could have given to Dennis Schroeder, his slot, if we made all of these minimums? Let's say we gave, let's just carry it over. Let's say this is a veteran at 4 million. So we give this one 4 million. So that can go to 13 million. So we go, and this is our non-taxpayer mid-level. Basically, I mean, this is D'Anthony Melton spot, right? So part 6, Melton's spot is basically Schroeder's spot. And to get anybody of value, it's roughly the most that we can give. A player not named Steph, Wiggs, Dray is that non-taxpayer mid-level 13 million. So you tell me how you're going to construct this roster after spending 100 million on Steph, Wiggs, and Draymond. So the 7th part is mathematically And because Steph, Dray are a shared brain, you can only utilize Wiggins' salary as the main driver for improvement, for a star, for a number 2. So why don't we look at the salaries of people? Player contracts. Let's find a salary similar to Andrew Wiggins. I mean, this is at the first apron. Granted, you could blow through and go to the second apron, but like we're capped at the first apron. So it was either go the D'Anthony Melton route or blow through to the second apron, which we wanted to do with Paul George anyways. This is why it's hard. So what would you do? Do you want to replace Wiggs with John Collins? That's the best that you can do. Well, then you don't have a wing defender. You're stuck. Nick Claxton? Again, you don't have a wing defender. You're stuck. It just, this is the evolution of the roster. We lost Klay in the process. Okay. So other factors, part 8. I'm just making this up as I go. I don't know if it's in the right order. Part 8. Klay could not defend 1, 2s, and 3s anymore. So the pool contract, we went and got CP3 with that. So you could say that maybe the Jordan Poole for CP3 was the real culprit here, but we gave it a try. And I think the Melton maneuver worked. We looked really good when we won the 11th game and the 12th game with Melton starting. We looked really good. And those were against quality opponents, OKC and Dallas. So number 8, the other factor was Klay couldn't defend 1, 2s, and 3s anymore. So we had to turn him into, who did we turn him into? Like Buddy and Kyle as free agents? Something like that, right? What did we do with the Klay salary slot? Did it become Kyle and Buddy? 17 million? I forget. Someone remind me. So Klay couldn't defend 1, 2s, and 3s anymore. So our dependence on Wiggs became a core issue on Wiggs on defense. Became a critical issue. I don't want to use the word core because that suggests the core of Draymond and Steph. So then we turned Klay's spot into Kyle and Buddy. Unless someone says otherwise in the comments. I think that's what happened. The salaries add up. So now we're caught in a quandary. And I mean, if so So if there was a mistake, then it might have been the pool contract for CP3, which didn't pan out, albeit almost landed Paul George. So if there was a mistake, then it might have been the pool contract for CP3, which you can blame on the Draymond punch in the video. You're still not trading Draymond at that point, and we won a championship in 2022. So the 10th and final issue, which I'll punch out, is we actually won the 2022 finals with this same salary cap structure. Except that Poole was on a rookie contract. Dun, dun, dun. Did I miss anything? So is it really that bad? Is it really that bad? Do you see the steps that it took to get to where we are right now? And because we are where we are right now, you saying that I just want to get help for Steph, it is hard. And you have to, oh, by the way, the pool trade to get CP3, we sent out the 2030 pick. That one really hurts because then we can't send out more picks around the 2031. If anything, we should have tried to find a way to give Washington an earlier pick. So that it would have already conveyed by now. In retrospect, maybe we should have traded the immediate pick, but did we have our eyes on Brandon Podziemski or something? Whew. So that's where we are. That's why it's hard. So the Stepien rule. Number 11. We got to go to 11, right? The Stepien rule. You got to look that up. Can't trade out. Well, must have a pick at least every other year. This might have had a factor in not getting Lauri Markkanen, although the main factor I still think is that the Wiggins contract was severely undervalued last summer. So that you know, also Wiggs' dad, his health, causing undervalued contract. I think those 11 things pretty much explain how we got to where we are right now, where it's very difficult because we cannot trade out 3 draft picks, 3 first rounders. And not having that flexibility makes it really hard. That's all I gotta really say on that. Like any combination that you put together, tough, because we're So if we're going to go out and spend a first-round pick on Cam Johnson for Wiggins, then in the future, you don't have that pick that you can send out. So, like, which one are you sending out? The draft is pretty deep this year. So, other tidbits. 2025 draft is deep. Therefore, if we end up staying at 500, maybe we want to keep that pick. You never know. Wouldn't that be funny, though, if we got Cooper Flag? That would be hilarious. So you're not trading out the 2025. That leaves 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, not 2030, 2031. But you can't trade the 29 or the 31. So it only leaves the 26 and 28. That leaves only a combination of 2026 and 2028 to be tradable. That's very restrictive. So if we're going to spend a draft pick on Cam Johnson, you're sending out Wiggins for Cam Johnson and you just lost another pick? Then we can't do any deals for like marketing this summer because we only have one draft pick that we can send out. So if we acquire Cam Johnson for Wiggs, or anybody for Wiggs, plus a first-round pick, then this summer we do not have the ability to acquire somebody else, to acquire a star for more than one first-round pick. Like Mikal Bridges netting 4 picks, that's impossible for us. That is what you get when you win 4 championships and you won one in 2022. Like, you don't get great draft picks. That's why the 30th, the worst team, usually gets a top pick. That's why the best team usually gets the 30th pick. And that's why I'm not mad, because I understand this entire context and history. It's like, yo, we won a championship in 2022, man. There's only Denver and Boston, the Lakers in 2020, Toronto. I'll give you those. Toronto, Lakers, Bucks, Nuggets, and Celtics. Only 5 teams. Milwaukee, Denver, Boston. Only 5 teams can, I mean, what am I trying to say here? Like 25 other teams. No, we're the 6th team. So 24 other teams. 24 other teams have been unsuccessful with their roster manipulation. So all of the stuff that you hear out there on Twitter fingerland, oh, Joe Lacob is terrible. Mike Dunleavy's terrible. What are we doing? Our front office sucks. If our front office sucks, then 24 other teams' front office is, by definition, even worse. Because we won a championship and they didn't. So you go tell that Twitter finger friend of yours. I'm showing you the math. It's just simple math. You cannot dispute science. It's scientific. It's math. By definition, the Dallas Mavericks have a worse front office than we do. We have a trophy. They don't. By definition, the OKC front office is worse than ours. We have a trophy. They don't. Ever since KD left, we'll give them that. If we go back to 2015, then we're ahead by 3 more trophies. I guess you don't want to go there. I mean, I'm just trying to test the mathematics of these angry kids thumb typing their lives away. I want to reinforce that they are just angry kids thumb typing their lives away because the math doesn't add up. Now, the moment OKC hoists a trophy, then by definition, their front office doesn't suck, and ours still does in comparison to them. Because then we would be at 500 and they just hoisted a trophy, or we would be, wherever we are. So, did that help? I mean, I just gave you 11 steps to how we got to this situation, why it is difficult to find a number 2, to get Steph help. And yet, if you go look at the title of this video, I am the only person in the entirety of the landscape of the Warriors. And really, I have to thank Dean Chambers, but I have to thank this idea was Eric G, NBADraft.net. He said, I would really love the opportunity to get Austin Reaves. If we get Austin Reaves, we don't have to sacrifice Wiggins. So that might be a smart thing to do, to spend a first-round pick, unless you're absolutely certain that there's somebody out there that we can get for another first-round pick that completes the team. You could always, you're never going to get that first-round pick back. So, of course, when the draft ends, we'll get the 2032 pick. So we'll have still 2 tradable first-round picks. So we got to trade out the 2026. So if at the end of the 2025 draft, we will automatically, everyone will automatically have a 2032 pick. At that point, we can still trade out 2 first rounders if we spend the 2026 pick on Austin Reaves. Because then we can still do 2028 and 2032. That 2030 pick sucks, man. That one, ooh, that one hurts. That's the one, if you go back in time, can we have, I would love to maybe, if I ever have time in the summer, go read up all the articles on that. Go hit up Keith Smith. Maybe I can just hit him up and go, do you remember at the time when we sent out Jordan Poole and the 2030 pick for Chris Paul? Should we have done it another way? Because this 2030 pick is killing us right now. It's killing us in terms of getting a, Lauri Markkanen or the next Lauri Markkanen on the market this summer that is attractive enough to really go chase and spend 3 first-round picks on. We don't have 3 first-round picks. We can only spend 2. All right, I guess I'll check comments to see if I got any of that wrong. I'm not sure. Yeah, I've always thought J.K. was the number 2. He really is. I mean, the way that he plays is the perfect, dipole. Dyad. He's a dyad. Yeah, he's dyad with well, they're different. I guess, yeah. I guess it's like Ray and what's his name? Kylo. Kylo Ren and Ray. JK coming back is a number 2, yeah. Which further justifies Austin Reaves, baby. Gary Payton for Austin. That's probably not enough. Oh, you retracted that. It's all good. Okay, what do we got here? TF Mills. Kyle 2 for Bogdan. Oh, Bogdan. How much is Bogdan? Let's look at Bogdan. Bogey. 17 mil. How durable is he? I don't know why. Why do I like Reaves so much more than Boyan? I mean, not Boyan. Bogey. Bogdan. For Ben and Andrew? Whoa, whoa, whoa. The bigger question is, where are you using first round picks? That's the kicker. That's the hard part. Bogdanovich is how tall? 6'6"? How tall is Austin Reaves? I mean, they're pretty comparable. Austin Reaves, 12 million, 6'5", 1 inch shorter. Well, I'd rather get Austin Reaves. But anyways, yeah, how would you, man, maybe Bogey doesn't cost as much as far as, maybe you just need second rounders, maybe So I'll give you that, maybe. Might only cost a second rounder, hopefully, in comparison to AR. Although he's at, what was that, 17 million? $17.3, yeah. Too late for the Warriors? What do you mean? Too late for what? Playoffs? Yep, not good to trade Wiggins. I would add first round pick too. Too late for a trade that will make a difference. So Austin Reaves doesn't make a difference? Yeah, Wiggs shouldn't be traded. Yep. Yeah, I just went through that. Man, we already talked about. I mean, what are you guys happy with? What would you be happy with? One more title for Steph. 2 titles for Steph. Or let's broaden that out. What minimum would you be happy with? No titles during Steph's remainder. Let's say Steph plays 2 more years beyond the current contract through 2029. That'd be 2029. Let's do a poll. One more title in next 10 years. I think that's it. Just do those 3 options. Because why I did the poll is to get you to be aware of how judgmental people can be towards the lake of and Dunleavy and Steve Kerr for that matter. Did a poll. I'm actually happy with no titles. I'm happy I got to see Steph play. Really? So the whole Trey Murphy thing, I actually have on our website, letsgowarriors.com. I wrote an article where I said I want Trey Murphy because I always liked wings, always in the draft. I always liked the long defendery type. I love defense. So I was wanting Trey Murphy even myself, but I understand because Eric G told me, Eric G, our guy at NBAdraft.net, was like, well, the reason why they picked Moody was because he had a higher ceiling at the time. And usually you go with the higher ceiling. You go with the higher ceiling because that's what you do in drafts when you got a lottery pick. So us not picking Trey Murphy, I mean, it's easy to look back. Hindsight's 2020 and go, you know, that was a bad pick. Same thing like with Wiseman, right? Like, how could you have known that he'd get injured twice? Was it twice or three times? Might have been three times, but he got injured twice at least. And at the time, the way we made picks way back then, you know, we started to pick differently with Pajemski, Trace Jackson Davis, Quentin Post. Started to look for more veterans. We finally realized that, hey, look, the best thing to put around Steph is all these guys that, you know, more veteran-like. And also the game got faster. The game got faster, so point of attack defense got more important, which Moody doesn't do that well. Trey Murphy does in the length. We started evolving the draft process to get guys that were more seasoned and could fit next to Steph. So it's all based on that. So I wouldn't be too pissed off, in other words. I am absolutely happy with no more titles. But he's saying that sarcastically because he knows how we are, how we carry our lives. I don't know if we would have won a ring, but I I'm with you on that one. I think Melton was low key pretty damn awesome. Why do not more people? That's why I got to do the Melton film study. The last 2 games. It's always the last 2 games. Kuminga last 2 games. I said it before. I said it a million times. Racks up 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists in 25 minutes. He's getting downhill, but he's like stopping at the nail and spraying out. Or he's reading it and he goes straight to the hoop. Or there was one play, he got to the hoop and he sprayed out. Now that is special when you can do that. Offensively, you're like, De'Aaron Fox level. Like you're getting there. So I agree on the D'Anthony and I agree on the Kuminga. All right, next topic. Like he's not a GOAT. Yeah. Well, they were looking for different things. But yeah. Zion. Wow. Yeah. If we get Zion, I'm going to root for Zion for sure. You got to. Yeah, we could still get Zion, don't you think? Maybe. Not sure. He could definitely create separation. If healthy though. So yeah, Steph, Wiggs, Dray, J.K. post. That'd be neat. That'd be really neat. Did I miss anything else? Well, we're not getting Fox, that's for sure. But Vucevic depends. Know if it requires a first rounder. Right? Plain and simple, right? Plain and simple. No Vooch if they want a first rounder. I just explained all the first round things. We had to go through that exercise to understand it. Cholo. Take care. Bogdanovich and Vooch for Loon, Schroeder, Moody, Kyle. See, like, why would they do that? You'd have to throw in a couple picks. By the way, we only have 2 second rounders. Oh, this is a good point. It doesn't make sense, Jimmy. What I think that is, Perk said he heard, probably from KD, I don't know, that Phoenix willing to pay Jimmy $60 million for 2 years. So I think that's what's happening. Is he's aiming for that. And I don't think the Warriors would do that. That's way too much. 60 million is more than Steph. Heck no. So it's negotiations. All right. Wow, I almost did 4 hours. Crazy. Well, I got to call out Dean Chambers. We already won 4 of them, guys. You can't take that away from me. So here's the thing. If Beal were to waive his no trade clause, how many players? Oh boy. In the NBA, you got to match salaries and probably attach first round picks. It's funny how everybody gets all pissy on all those other social media platforms, and yet I'm actually the one that is closest to Steph Curry himself. Like, he has joy every day. He enjoys the game. He's going to have joy tomorrow in the game, win or lose. Of course, if you lose, you'll be mad about losing because that's why you play the game in the first place, to win. But then that refractory period, it's all about the refractory period. How long does it take you to calm down and enjoy life after a loss? That is the key to life. So Steph Curry loses a game. Yeah, he's pissed. He pissed. Goes to his family. Boom. Next one. Next day. Leave the loss in the past. Me saying that I'd be happy with 0 titles doesn't mean that I want 0 titles. I'm always going to be competitive. I'm always going to want to have the material thing that comes out of basketball. So if the poll says, so the poll results are consensus 2029 get one more title. Therefore, why would you judge Dunleavy before 2029? I'm just here to make you aware of all the silly things you guys think. You know what it is? It's not that I don't think silly things. Your brain is going to send you millions of really it's 70,000 thoughts per day. Your brain's going to send you 70,000 thoughts per day. Are they all going to be positive or negative? It's going to be a mixture. If you are aware of that, then you can do step 2 is you can learn how to train yourself to reject the negative thoughts. And think about it. That's what Steph Curry does. He's learned how to not process the negative thoughts. How did he learn this? Well, when he was a kid, he got to shoot around with Larry Johnson, his dad, Dell, Muggsy Bogues, and everybody else on that Charlotte Hornets team. His dad reminded him, be grateful for this stuff. Not a lot of kids out there get to shoot around with Larry Johnson and Muggsy Bogues, let alone an NBA court, let alone for free, let alone regulation NBA ball, let alone painted lines. You always be thankful for this. You enjoy the moment, Steph. That's how he learned to enjoy the moment. So by him being exposed to that at a young age and having appreciation for that, it's hard for him to process stuff that's negative. So that is one of the keys, I think. That's my theory to how he's able to do it. How is he able to just have fun every single day? How is he able to have fun during layup lines? Doesn't he worry about this, that, and the other thing? Well, he doesn't worry about this, that, and the other thing. It's an outgrowth of, it's the same reason that he's having fun in the layup lines is because he's having fun all the time. Other than when we lose. But even sometimes I wonder, right? He throws the ball to the other team. He doesn't get as mad about that as we do, right? So it's kind of like that part kind of hurts him. And it takes a lot of losing to finally change his bad habits, but he's getting there. He's getting there. Oh boy. Okay. I think that's it. Do I have anything to eat? Well, I think we covered everything. It's all in the notes. So all my notes will be in the comments when the live ends. Next live tomorrow. It's already Monday. No, it's Monday. Oh my goodness, it's 12 a.m. So let's not say tomorrow. Let's say what is that? 12 hours, 18 and a half hours from now. 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We got Orlando at the Warriors. Indian cuisine. Ooh. I actually have digestive problems with curry. Not the Wardell curry, just the Indian curry. All right, everybody. Let's pull up the Cholo file. If you're not familiar with the Cholo file, here it is. It's our outro. Next live tomorrow. We gotta win.
Today he came back. He came here today talking about how he got a new blicky.
For the uninformed, what's a blicky?
How you don't know about no blicky, man? You had a blicky? You told me you had a blicky growing up.
Yeah.
You was a shooter.
A strap.
Yeah, that's a blicky.
And Brate. See you tomorrow. Appreciate you all for joining and listening to me ramble.